Yeah, I that the Swan Station. If is that the one that's underwater?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the. I want to put together that list of all the different mysteries in Lost, and the cable that Said finds that goes underwater. That's one that we actually do get an answer to, like several seasons later. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna see if I can start combing through my notes and putting together a list, because I think it's important to make that, because one of the things that people always critique the show for is that it raised a bunch of mysteries or questions that it never answered, and you know that's a little valid, but I think that there are some things that it did answer, and I would also like to be like you know fair, so that like by the time we come to the end of the show, be like we'll have this list and we'll be like which of these were answered, which of these were kind of answered, which of these were completely dropped.
Yeah, and there's definitely, I don't even know what you would call it, like a level of emotional investment or something.
Hmm.
Because, like, for instance, Libby being in a mental institution, uh, I remember being like, I know they didn't answer this, but I don't think I care.
See, that's what
Um,
I do care about, but stuff like
oh,
the
really?
Hurley bird, I have absolutely no interest in whatsoever.
The
There's a
Hurley bird?
there's a bird that shows up in Hurley's episode that sounds like it says Hurley's name, and for the longest time, like people, like it has its own entry on Lostpedia, and people just sort of like, "What does the Hurley bird mean?" And I was like, "I think it's just like Hurley freaking out," and it was a bird that screeched and kind of sounded like Hurley. Like I don't give a shit about that.
And yeah, and like I don't know, there's definitely, it's just certain ones. I mean, and yeah, it's I think what makes it tough too is that even combing through questions or mysteries that are unsolved, there's also the plenty that like they did quote unquote solve, and I'm like, I didn't need that solved.
Yeah.
Because something like, yeah, why did the statue have four toes? Even though I know it doesn't play a role in a larger narrative, I'm like, do we ever like, why did they do that? And like, at the very least, you think that, I don't know, maybe that's the rite of passage. Instead of Juliet getting scarred on her back, they cut off one of your toes.
Yeah, the four toes
And
thing was so dumb. It was like you didn't need to do that. And then your answer for it later is like, well, it's because it's a statue of a god. It's like, okay, all
is
right.
that what it is?
Yeah, it's the because what happens is it's the episode where with the Black Rock, where the Black Rock gets lifted up by a hurricane or something and smashes into the statue, and you see it was like a statue of like some Egyptian looking god. And
Oh,
but it's like, okay, you raise this question of like, okay, there's a statue here that has four toes. So like, does that mean that there was some like pre-human ancestors that this is a statue of? And like, if you make the answer that it's a god, that's almost like, well, why did you even bother in the first place? Because like, it doesn't. That means that it doesn't matter that the statue has four toes. So why did you introduce that concept at all?
yeah. God, that's weird. I Stuff like that, man. I just
But we're not
those
there
are
yet. We're not at that
no,
level of
no, no,
absurdity
no, no.
yet.
I know, and maybe some of the stuff I'll be like, you know what? I like it. I like that the statue is four toes. It's an arc number,
It's true.
and
That's true.
and you know who's to, it establishes how long civilization has known of the island. Since Egyptian time. God, this sounds dumb. Never mind. Point is, special was great. I enjoyed it.